Hey guys, welcome back to another how to win video. Today, I'm going to be taking Tara into Solo Showdown Barren Badlands. Now today's video, I really want to focus on passive playstyles. Now I actually made a video on this in the past, another how to win, except I sort of merged aggressive and passive into the one video. So I wanted to sort of come back to that, but sort of go more in depth on just the passive style gameplay and see if I can give you some more tips about that. So for this pick, I picked Tara because she's not the greatest aggressive brawler, but she can really hold her own when she's playing a lot more passive and just trying to clean up fights. So, without further ado, let's hop right into the first game. Okay, so we're spawning in the bottom right corner of the map. I quite like this spot. We've already got 2 boxes to our right. This is really good. So, I'm just going to go up to these boxes and just quickly open them up. Tara's piercing damage is really useful. Now, so I briefly mentioned in the introduction that Tara's really good at holding her own, but she's not the greatest aggressive. Now, what I mean by that is simply because she's really good at sort of, so she can sit in, say, like a bush for a while, and just camp it out for a bit, and just chill. And then if there's a fight going on nearby, she's really good at being able to pick people off and sort of finish them up, that kind of thing. So, if you just know how to position yourself well, to the point where you can just get yourself some really good cleanups, then you're gonna set yourself up for a victory. It's gonna be really easy. So, right now, I spawned down to the bottom-ish of the bottom right of the map, and I'm gonna head over to the left to make sure, so no one seems to be over in this direction. So, with my knowledge of the game so far, no one is in this side of the map, so that allows me to just stay over here. I'm being really passive rather than going to the top of the map and going for action. I'm just chilling, making sure that I'm not going to get taken out, not trying to pursue any kills right now, and just holding my ground here. So, I'm actually just going to cut back to you guys shortly when the circle's a little bit smaller, or the storm, because I feel like this game is going to go by really slowly. Okay, so the storm has definitely pushed us out a little bit more now. I haven't really seen anyone coming towards us at all. I'm not sure if there's anyone in these bushes, but I do hear a Piper. Now, keep in mind, with passive playstyles, the games will go a lot slower just because you're not going for any kills, you're not going for any action, and not much is going to be happening. So this game has actually gone really well for us because we really haven't had to do much. And like right there, Tara's range is long enough so that she can pick people off, but it's also, her burst potential is also really high. Now this Piper made a pretty big mistake. She jumped straight onto us, so we're going to be able to just clean her up just like that, take the easy kill. Now we're sitting with 6 power cubes. We've got a really good advantage on this Piper. So we're going to use these walls to my advantage, keep hiding behind them, trying to peek her, and just try to take as little damage as possible. I'm going to heal up, try and get some damage off. She's going all the way to the corner. I'm just going to keep trying to juke her shots a little. Side to side, weaving, just hitting her. Now I'm going to hit her a little bit, get some shots off, maybe build up some super. See if we can get her to use a super, maybe one-shot her here. That was a really good jump on her end. She ended up taking us out with those bombs, but that was still a really good game nonetheless. I feel like it quite well demonstrated the ability of passive gameplay, and also how Tara is quite a good clean-out brawler, and she has the potential. It's just that she's a little bit underrated. Now, if we did have our super, we probably could have been able to take out the Piper at the end there, but since we were going for a more passive game, we weren't really going to build it up in time. So, without further ado, let's hop into the next game. Alright, so we are spawning at the bottom of the map this time, close to our spawn in the last game. Now, something I also want to cover when being passive is people just think, oh, being passive is just bush camping and just making sure you don't die. Well, yeah, that is partially correct, but you also got to be aware of your surroundings, aware of your opponents, and you got to know when to move, and you also got to know when to go in for kills, and etc. So, what I want to cover as well is, you might notice this a lot more in 3v3s, but let's just take Bounty, for example. So in Bounty, say you have the lead on the stars, and you've taken out all your opponents, you've done really well, and your opponents are slowly, you just play passive, and you're just falling back, and your opponents slowly push you into your spawn. It'll get to the point where your team will be so weak and have almost no health, that you guys will all get taken out because you've been pushed back so far down, and you'll just lose the game. So you need to be really careful. That this does apply to Showdown as well. So you really need to be careful with who your opponents are. So this guy right here, I'm going to go and just get some shots on him because that's going to scare him and it's going to get him to walk away from us just like we did there. And it lets us keep our position. So you don't want to stay in the bushes because if they get too close, they might get a little bit cocky and think, oh, I can take him out. Let's go for the kill, you know? So if you just keep chipping them like this, he's going to get killed right here. And I'm actually just going to let the Leon take the power cubes because, like I said, we don't want to engage into too many fights. We were only attacking the bow just to get him away from us, not to go for the kill. So that's a really important thing about passive gameplay. It's something that I really wanted to stress. Now this Leon is going for the kills. Leon is a very aggressive brawler and he can get away with it because his damage and all of that stuff is really useful. So what we're going to do is I'm going to try and get my super. I almost have it, which is going to be very helpful. Like I said, Tara is really good at holding her own just because her super lets her make really good plays. Just going to flash it a little bit just to freak people out just a little bit. And I'm actually going to go over to the left-hand side of the map here, hide in the bushes, and see if the Leon goes for somewhere else. So he is having a fight with that 8-bit. That Pam is holding her own ground down there in the bottom corner. This 8-bit will probably take the Leon out. He's got a much better position. The 8-bit chucks his turret down. The Leon is invisible. I'm going to see if I can try and help the 8-bit find him. The Leon went for us. I'm just going to pull him and then take him out if we can get our shots back. Ooh, that was a bit unfortunate. We weren't able to get our shots back, and I think we took 4th place. But that was still a really good game, so I'm going to leave it in the video. I think it did really cover passive gameplay and how you can do well with it. So, without further ado, let's hop into the next game, shall we? Alrighty, so we are spawning in the top right corner of the map. We've got one box over here, so I'm going to open this box up really quickly, and then I'm going to make my way over to a decent spot where I can hide and reassess the situation. So, I'm not too sure about where anyone is right now. It doesn't look like anyone's over here in the top right corner of the map. There is a box over here, so I'm going to grab this one and just open that up quickly. Now, you got to be cautious. There may be people in these bushes. Very low chance, but you never know. There are a couple times where I've caught people like Dynamites or something. Brawlers that aren't really good on certain maps, and they'll be hiding in like really awkward positions that you wouldn't expect them to be hiding in. So what I'm actually going to do is, I know there's no one in those bushes. I'm going to hide in these bushes. And I'm going to stay on this corner sort of part of it. So I've got vision over here. So if anyone walks into these bushes, I know that they'll be there. So since I've got a pretty decent spot on the map right now, there's no one really in the area. It'll allow me to just relax, take it slowly, and just play it well. We'll see how high we can go. So I'll come back to you guys shortly when the storm closes in a little bit more. Alright, so there's a Primo right here. He is really low. Looks like he came out of a fight. I'm going to go straight for the hits. Try and take him out. He is going to heal up a lot. We're actually going to see if we can switch spots with the Spike. I want the Spike to go for the Primo rather than going for us. I'm going to see if I can try and encourage the Spike to take that fight. Looks like everyone has actually come to the top of the map, which is a little bit unfortunate because they didn't hold their own side. So the Primo's still up here. I'm going to have to make a move really quickly. So I'm just going to move down here instead. Looks like the Spikes are fighting somewhere else now, and the Primo has this part to himself. Now, we do have range that we should be taking advantage of on this Primo, but there's also a Spike down here, so I'm going to see if I can get one of these kills. Spike is really weak. We're going to be able to take him out just before he uses his super. I'm going to go for some shots on this bow. I'm actually going to pull him and see if we can take him out. Alright, so we did get him really low. The Primo ended up finishing him. The Primo's going to jump on us. We're going to see if we can just do something here. Probably not, yeah. We weren't able to take the first place victory, but we could take the second. That was a really good game for the most part. We just held our ground in that top right corner of the map for the majority of the game, making sure that no one came around. We positioned ourselves well so that we could tell whether people would walk in the bushes from nearby or not, which then gave us an advantage later on in the game, and we actually had to check the bushes. So, without further ado, let's hop into the 4th and final game. Okay, so we are spawning at the top-ish of the map. We've got a lot of boxes around us, so we've got to be careful. This will definitely be an attraction to most players. So I'm going to grab this box really quickly, and then I'm going to head over to the one to the left to try and get a little bit further away from that Rosa, hoping that she goes towards the middle rather than going towards us. So I'm going to open this box over here. There is a Primo over there. It's good to keep in mind, so we know there's a Primo and a Rosa in this game. I think I just might take some quick, cheeky shots at him to see if we can get any super at all. Now, everyone is actually circling in on the middle right now. So I'm just going to stay around the edges to try and get the scraps of the fight. Like I said, Tara's a really good clean-up brawler in Showdown, so I'm just trying to get some shots on people that are already weakened and that just came out of fights. Like this Primo, who's really weak right now. We're just keeping him low. The Pam has actually walked away a lot, and she left her turret here, so I'm actually going to just take out the turret, so if she comes back, she doesn't have that advantage. Now, everyone's closing in on the left-hand side of the map. There are 5 players in total, 6, I think, because of that Shelly. So I'm just going to keep moving around the place, moving with the players. So wherever these people, if these people all move towards the right, like this Rosa is trying to push us out, everyone's moving towards the right. So I'm going to follow them and try to get my own spot on the map when there isn't anyone to fight. So this Rosa is going to take out the Nita. We're going to just try and take her out, finish her up. We played that really well, just cleaning all those fights up. We have our super now, so we can actually make some really good plays with it. and we came out on top. Now, what's really good about that, so this is a good example of passive gameplay. I stayed away, like, I stayed pretty far out from all of the action, and all I did was try and get some easy cleanups. Like, I went for that Primo who was really weak, that Rosa that came out of that fight. I didn't pursue any kills. I sort of just chipped at everyone and just tried to move around with the enemies, and made sure that I wasn't the one in the middle, and made sure that I was the one getting all the cleanups. And now we're positioned ourselves for a very, very good game. We've set ourselves really well. We've got our super. The Spike is fighting that Penny. There's a high chance he's going to die because he's right in the middle of the map. Definitely not a good place to be. And we're just really laid back in this corner of the map, chilling in these bushes and not having much to do. Now that Penny and that Pam are fighting over some power cubes, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to get a better position on these guys. I'm going to go for the Penny, who's a little bit weaker, and our burst potential is really high, so we are going to be able to take her out most likely. Although it looks like that was actually really unfortunate there. That mortar did end up taking us out. Now, I will admit, I did go a little bit aggressive when I probably shouldn't have. I should have kept my ground there. I thought I was able to take out that Penny, but I wasn't able to. So, we still secured the second place victory. I still feel like that game was really good. An example of passive gameplay. So, I'm going to leave it in, and I hope you guys enjoyed. So, anyways, guys, that'll be it for this how to win video. I hope you guys did enjoy this passive gameplay. If you did, make sure to leave a comment down below what parts you like the most, or if you have any suggestions, feel free to do that as well. And also, make sure to drop a like on the video if you did enjoy it, and if you think some other people are in need, maybe your friends or anyone you know needs some help in Showdown or getting better at the game, feel free to show them these videos. I make a lot of them on my channel. And I also stream on my Twitch every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 11 AM Australian Eastern Standard Time. So if you are interested, or you want to ask me some questions or talk to me personally, feel free to hop into my chat. We can have some fun. But that'll be it from me today, guys. And as always, keep sweating.